are 3 tactical how-to tips for PR and communication professionals about using these tools. Number 1, the first thing I would do is, number 1, know your product. Know what's your story and why it's newsworthy. Really know how to tell that story, and don't just think about yourself. Think about the person that you're telling that story to. Why is it newsworthy for them to even, to sit down with you and listen to you? Why is it newsworthy for them to write about it? So know your product and why it's newsworthy. The second tip I could do is definitely target. Targeting is huge in PR. You want to be as targeted as possible. You want to research your reporters. So if someone writes about healthcare, you don't want to start pitching them something that deals with technology, unless they're healthcare technology. You want to be really targeted, and you want to pitch the right reporter and be relevant to what they write about. So if you're pitching the wrong reporter, it's just a waste of time. There's really no point to it. And on top of that, you really annoy the heck out of a reporter. So the second thing is really target, do your research. Know who you're, know who you want to target, and make sure it's relevant to that reporter. Do your homework. The third thing is follow up and measuring your results. It's really important to follow up. People think PR just happens overnight. It's actually not. It's a lot of work. And that's why a lot of these agencies charges like an arm and a leg. It's a lot of work. It's not just like getting your story out there and getting someone to write about it. I mean, sometimes stuff like that happens. That's great. But in general, it takes a lot of following up, and you have to measure your results. And and I can't recommend that enough. So just because you send something out, you have a targeted list, it's all about follow-up. Following a reporter, if someone expressed interest, following up to see if they have any more questions, see what's their timeline, and basically, working with them. Nothing's done till you see that story out there, or that report is not interested for even if the report is not interested, you could follow that report and say, hey, what else are you working on? Maybe there's a way I can help you with some of your other stories, and building that relationship. So follow-up is really huge. So my 3, tactical tips for PR professionals and companies looking to promote themselves. Number 1, this is my wrap-up, is 1, know your product and why it's newsworthy. 2, make sure you do your homework and make sure you're targeting the right reporters. And 3, follow up, and measure your results. I hope that helps.